Valkjes, Tate, Vizelli and Van der Elst. No Schweinzer, he didn't make the final. And we're off and running. You've got to go through the valley of the first obstacle there. It becomes the D'Agostini double for the rest of the race. And the leader's already down into the Samba hairpin, and it's Van der Elst in the green and white who leads it, and leads it in style. Charging through to second place is the number 3 car, but he's gone right over the top, and the leader's gone off. Oh, Van der Elst makes a mistake. Your Michael Teat, very robust, and goes through into second place for a moment, but he's had to drop back as the number 2, the blue and orange machine of Dario Vizelli, is through into the lead and will lead the first lap. 30 minutes. Vizelli, Van der Elst, Jörg Michael Teat in 4th position. Ken Valkjes just come out of that other final, remember. Oh, and a mistake there from the 3. And Jörg Michael drops back a little bit. Nobody getting away in this one. Watch out for the number 7 as well. Felix Horrens has made a decent start. Sven Rodewald as well in the green fronted with the pink tail on his buggy, up from the 10th position, but he's just driven straight into, I think it was the 7 of Felix Horrens. So 2 of the fastest starters having issues there. But Rodewald feels he's got a point to prove, I think, having had one of his qualifying sessions cancelled. So it is still, and by an increasing margin, as off has just gone the 4 of Ken Valkjes, by an increasing margin, leading Dario Vizelli, already ahead of this battle we're watching now. Valkjes is, Van der Elst is in second in the green, with Teat now back in 3rd, but challenging. Battle for 2nd and 3rd on screen now through the final 2 hairpins. Across the line, starting lap 4 through the first corner. Leader comes through. Here's the battle for 2nd. Onto the tabletop. And now down to the Samba hairpin. Van der Elst being attacked slightly on the Grafil gradient there by Tate. Pekka Heikkilä in 4th place. Keep an eye out for the 0. I've got a feeling he's going to fight his way through. Long way this. And these guys are battling very hard early on. Adam Johnson has joined me in the booth. And this is great racing at the beginning, but you've got to wonder how much they're taking out of themselves, their cars, and more importantly, the tyres at this early stage.
Well, it's almost like they've forgotten that Dario Vizelli exists. It's almost like Vizelli has made the run for it, and Tim van der Elst has almost consolidated himself to go, you know what, I'm going to get a double of 2nd places here. But Teat has had a good day out there today. He had that moment earlier on, I believe it was in his quarterfinal, where he completely didn't go from the 2nd grid slot and actually
didn't get off the line at all, did he?
No, and he got rear-ended, and having had a look at the grid slot, I can almost understand why. But he fought his way back up to the top 3 within about 5 laps, which was quite extraordinary. So
he was back to 2nd, actually. Yeah, you're right.
He was, yeah. So I feel he's in a combative mode today, and I feel like he's got a point to prove. Maybe he feels like the setup wasn't quite on point from the start of the weekend, which I think, as Patrick Schweinzer has proven. Oh, we've got a big instant. Van der Elst is upside down. He's turned turtle. So there you go. Teat up to 2nd again. And Tim van der Elst, this must be so frustrating for him. This will be his 2nd semi-final where he can see someone disappearing into the distance. And it appears doing the back-to-back finals might be getting to him a little bit.
Yeah, Ken Valkjes has dropped out of contention as well, because through has gone Pekka Heikkilä in the blue and white checkered machine. So it's Vizelli from Teat, from Heikkilä in 3rd now, and Van der Elst, our Bowman, down to 4th position, ahead of Horrens. Rodewald up to 6th, then Valkjes in 7th, Hiltunen and Ivanen, the 2 other Finns, in 9th, 8th and 9th, and I'm afraid it's still not, we're still not celebrating Swiss Day, as over has gone the 3rd place driver, Pekka Heikkilä. Philip Chasey down at the back of the field. And does nobody want this 3rd position? So the leader, Dario Vizelli, getting away. That is number 1. Tim van der Elst in 3rd place at the moment, will be cursing his luck. The 4-wheel drive cars, tiny little bit heavier, but obviously lots more grip around the front end. Need a different style of driving, Adam. It's I'm not sure whether you can get away with more, whether it's actually easier or not, but certainly the guys seem to drive them with a little more gusto than we see when the 2-wheel drive cars are out there.
Well, I think it's because it takes a certain style, because, as you know, all 4 of the wheels will be powered and going forward. So you've got the front wheels pulling you into an understeer in every corner, rear wheels trying to push you into oversteer, so they sort of balance out. And that's where you've got to really find the balance on how to race it. If we just watched Tim van der Elst now, it enables you to kind of accelerate harder out of the corners, but it also means turning is a little bit trickier. You've almost got to try and treat it like a rear-wheel drive corner on entry, like a rear-wheel drive car on entry and a front-wheel drive car on exit. That's kind of the best way to do it. And that's why we've consistently seen slightly faster lap times from the 4-wheel drive brigade, even though, as you say, John, they are slightly heavier.
Vaselli then with something in the region of 6 seconds of a lead over Titan seconds. He is 5 seconds ahead of van der Elst, who we're watching now. He comes through to complete his lap. Van der Elst has Felix Horrens chasing through, so maybe it is still a chance for a Swiss celebration on their national day. The 7 of Felix Horrens, the MCD RR5 with the Haler tuned motor, and the bright green machine of van der Elst is ahead of him, and that's his target at the moment, and that's 3rd place.
It's very close together, isn't it? This is a battle that's brewing. It's almost like the mentality in this finals has been that of a quarter-final. It's like the 3rd place has been the most important position on the track, but I guess given that in both finals so far we've had one man kind of run off and hide, I guess it's been inevitable. It's the last spot on the podium, 4th place. What do you get for 4th place if even 2nd place is not good enough for some people?
Beat the semi-finalists, isn't it? That's the same sort of attitude. You might as well go for it. And side by side there and through goes Felix Horrens, the man from the MACW club in Switzerland, and he's got away, and that's 3rd position, but he's going to lose it again. Van der Elst doubles the infield whoops. Little touch there. Must keep it clean when you're in close quarters like this, otherwise you will draw the attention of the referee. Now you can see now that Van der Elst is throwing that car at the corners, trying to get it to rotate into it, flicking it in, getting on the power nice and early, and trying to drift it down towards the Samba hairpin, who's the last of the late break as well. Pretty even there. And now towards the Grafil Gradients. Not sure this is an overtaking spot, if I'm honest.
I think it's mostly an overtaking spot if someone in front of you makes a mistake. It's very easy to fall off the top of that gradient and slide wide. That's where a lot of chances come from.
Through the bomb hole and into the final couple of hairpins. And Sven Rodewald is the next car back and rolling. The 7 car. Horrens over and Rodewald goes through. Rodewald now in 4th position from 10th. Remember, this was a man who has had to fight much harder than he expected. His qualifying was decent. I think should have seen him directly into the semis. Had to qualify up a couple of times to get to this final. Didn't provide a marshal or marshal himself for one of the early heats on Thursday. And the EFRA official, who is the EFRA president with us this weekend, was very keen to stress that that is not acceptable behaviour from anyone. But Rodewald now up into 4th position. So can he chase down the number 1 ahead of him? It's that bright green and white Van der Elst machine. Let's watch the lap times. Rodewald at the moment not making any kind of inroads. As 3 goes Vaselli in front of us. Then the battle, waiting for the battle for 3rd and 4th. Here is the number 1 now. I think Rodewald's closing in on him, I'll be honest. Adam, he's coming, isn't he? He's coming quickly.
He is, and I think he's a classic example of one of the guys we saw from earlier having to fight their way through the qualifying rounds and at the transfer spots. and I feel like that's given him a lot of confidence. He's had to pass a lot of cars today, so if you tell him this track's tough to overtake on, he's going to laugh in your face, because he's proven you wrong multiple times today.
I'd agree. He's a great. Rodewald has driven very well, and he's now almost within striking distance. We'll stay on this then as we're approaching 10 minutes gone, 20 to go. Pleased to see we haven't had anybody in tyre trouble in these longer events. I think everybody's got the idea that you can't just go flat out all the time. Vazelli, by the way, is still leading, and leading by some 11 seconds over the three of Tait, and then Van der Elst in this battle are another 7 seconds further back. And there is the battle on screen. Oh, that is tantalisingly close. Don't overdrive the triangular tabletop, and now come into Effra Bridge. I feel that Rodewald will not be denied, as he's just creeping towards this. Is very good pace by the German. Rodewald on Tim van der Elst. Van der Elst is very, very quick through the quick parts of the circuit. Really got his Elkhart Impact set up very well indeed in the GP Stage 3 tuned Xenon engine. He's doing its job. All 26 cc's working perfectly well. Now here it is though, closing right up at the Grafville gradient. Got to be doubled these now. Oh, super flying from the Rodewald car, perhaps even just over jumping it. Behind them, they're slowing each other down enough that the Ken Valke's car behind them, who is laps down on this, a couple of laps down in fact, is beginning to become a factor. And Ken will want to try and get back through here, because if he can gain a lap back, he'll then only be 1 lap away from a podium position. Not been a great run in the finals for Ken Valke's, the Belgian. But this third place battle is absolutely electric. The concentration levels here are outstanding, and Rodewald round the outside of the bomb hole uses the curbing to ditch hook the left front wheel and somehow not spear off at a tangent, defying the laws of physics. Brilliant overtake by Rodewald. That was absolutely fantastic. So great stuff from Rodewald as he heads away from Van der Elst, but not by much. And Van der Elst is having a look back at him. Can he get it done? Van der Elst quick on this part of the circuit as they go across the grid and into the doubles. Just keep our eyes on this for a second as they onto the tabletop and down into the Samba hairpin. Traffic in the way, and Van der Elst tries to go around the inside. Can he get it done? He can't. Into the Grafville gradient. Onto the infield whoops. And to complete another lap. This is great entertainment from these two. And for a moment, a slight mistake by Van der Elst allows Rodewald to get away. So let's go back just a couple of laps and have a look at how that position changed for third. Watch here, Rodewald gets a great run on driver's right and then immediately cuts in almost a block pass and uses the curbing to help him snag round the corner and take that third position away from Tim van der Elst. Brilliant stuff. So back to the live action as the lead continues to grow from Rodewald. Haven't seen Dario Vazelli for a little while. The number 2 car is currently heading down towards the end of the lap, just coming into the final hairpin now. There he is. It was 13 seconds last time around. that he held an advantage, as an advantage over Jörg Michael Teit. Teit runs the slightly smaller 8th scale cars, the buggies, so he's a very experienced competitor. But Vazelli at the moment showing why he's already been Adam, a European champion.
Absolutely, and am I the only one getting a little bit of deja vu from the last race? Because this is very much in the same mould as Patrick Schweinzer in the last race. Dario Vazelli has, I don't think, shown the same levels of raw pace all weekend as Schweinzer did, but I think he's known and he's driven like a guy who knows he has that pace in reserve, and he's been very calm all weekend. He's been at the sharp end, but I remember in, I think it was the quarter-final, it might have been the semi-final, he finished second in that, as you can see by the number 2 on his car, and I got the feeling there that he could have won that race if he wanted to, but he knew he had the pace to win the final, and being on the front row was all that counted, and so far, Plan A is working brilliantly.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty impressive all week. I have to say, there'll be no one more happy that Patrick Schweinzer wasn't in this final than Vazelli, because when they were head-to-head, it didn't look like he had the pace of the Austrian. The man with the speed at the moment is Ken Valkiers, who's about to come and unlap himself from behind the leader, I think. Just have a look as they go over the D'Agostini doubles there. Ken kicking up the dust on the outside of that hairpin turn. Now Ken is 3 laps down on the leader, but determined to make something out of this final and just pushing perhaps a little bit too hard. Now let's pick up our second place driver. In fact, he's just about to come on the scene in the all red. That's Jörg Michael Teit. There he is, second position, driving the FG Carbon. Should mention, by the way, Dario Vazelli's the only one on, he's like most people on MCTs, whereas Jörg Michael is on FG along with Ken and Tim van der Elst. So that's our second place man at the moment. Done a decent job from the grid 3. The man most likely at the moment, and the man who's just put in the fastest lap of the race, is Sven Rodewald with a 39.3 in the middle of this race. And we've got a couple of minutes to go to halfway. The Zero, the number 10 car, is about to hit a bit of traffic, I think. No, he's actually got through the traffic. He's coming down at the end of the lap now. The rainbow coloured car. And that will be another one of the MCD RR5s with the UTZ engine on MCD rubber. And this is a guy who really, Adam, feels he's got a point to prove.
Massively, and that can give you all the inspiration and all the speed you need as a driver. Sometimes you've got to get a driver with a bit of red mist descending to really prove a point, and he's driven absolutely spot on since around yesterday morning. I don't think he's put a single foot wrong the whole time. He's had to ride his luck a few times in the early eliminator rounds, but then again, so have quite a lot of people who have got to this position. But to me, I think, in fact, he started 10th. Maybe wrote him off in the minds of some other people, but he's putting on a great show out there. He wants to finish the weekend strongly. I just like the fact he's got a nice, it's an aggressive style, but a smooth style. I was a little bit worried when he was behind Tim van der Elst that he was taking really big swings at him and he was going to end up making a mistake with dropping further behind. In the end, he pounced absolutely brilliantly, and now it's all about raw one-lap speed, which Rodewald seems to have in spades right now.
He's got issues with the two Finns, Ivonen and Heikkilä. They should get through those relatively easy. They should be getting told by the race director that they've got a faster car coming through. Here he comes now. This is the opportunity, I would have thought, for Heikkilä just to lift off and let him go by. Well, hasn't been able to do it so far. That's not a battle for position. Rodewald with a 40.2, 39.8 for Vazelli at the front. Just picked up his pace again. But Jörg Michael in second is still being closed in on. Down to under 10 seconds now. Oh, a little roll there from Rodewald. I feel the frustration. When you get frustrated, you get tight on the sticks and you start making mistakes. The tension is not what you need. And Heikkilä really needs to pull over now and let this zero car go through, as Ken Valky is about to unlap himself from the third place man as well. Valky is with a great turn of speed. Sadly, I think a bit too late to take home any silverware.
Yeah, just a little bit. But on the point of Rodewald, I get the feeling there, that little mistake at the Graffield gradient, it's very easy to do. But I feel like he was focused too much on the lap car in front of him. And that took his attention away from his own driving just for a second. It's almost as if he was going, can we get this guy out of the way now? And it lost concentration on his own drive. And this track, you almost have to focus on, as if you almost have to imagine there's no other cars out there to get the best laps out of it. And I mean, that's why Patrick Schweinzer did so well, because most of the time it pretty much was just him out on his own.
But even in the qualifying heats, when, you know, everybody set off at intervals or is round the track, he had the ability to find clear air like no one else.
He really did. That was exceptional to watch. And I think Rodewald right now, as I say, I saw a little bit of this when he was attacking Van der Elst, but I think Rodewald right now needs to try and get into that mentality and imagine there's no one there. Don't even imagine he's chasing down Tight right now. Just imagine you're on your own and you're cranking out the best laps, not only of the day, but of your career. And I think he might have a chance of getting up to second very quickly.
He's being held up by Häkkilä. There's no doubt in my mind about that, but Häkkilä is just quick enough to be able to stay ahead without help from the Finnish driver in 5th position. I think the charge, as we're over half distance now, just 8 minutes to go, over 2/3 distance in fact, the charge towards a better position for Rodewald maybe just coming to an end. He's not been able to get into a position to challenge Häkkilä, and that to me is slightly disappointing, if I'm honest. Well, now he's beginning to close in again. What's interesting is, though, he's still taking time out of Jörg Michael Tight, who is just on the front straight now, I was about to say. Where's Tight gone? Oh, he's still there. Yeah, he's still there, coming down to the hairpin now. That's fine. Just took my eyes off him for a second. Vaselli on his 33rd lap, cranking out the 40-second laps. That's all he needs to do at the moment, Adam. Doesn't have to go any faster than that. He has got in the region of 20 seconds, I think, ahead of the field. I just wait for Jörg Michael to come through. Here he is, and we'll get a time check on the and it is 17 seconds between first and second, but only 8 seconds again between second and third as Rodewald pushes again. This is impressive. Had a few laps behind Häkkilä, but he's kept his powder dry there and beginning to come again, Adam.
Well, just as we said that, he had a little half spin down at the Samba hairpin. That's been the way of the world this race weekend, hasn't it? But as I say, I just get the sense that Rodewald will do, it's 2 steps forward, 1 back for him at the moment. And I think it might be a little bit of, not so much frustration, but just a sheer focus on trying to catch the guy in front. And as I say, it's probably would be better for him to almost imagine that he's not catching Tight right now.
There is Tight on the screen.
Yeah, and he's over, you can see the gap for yourselves there. And he's coming down to the Samba hairpin. Now, here's a comparison. Here's a guy who doesn't feel like he's under pressure at all. And he takes that corner beautifully.
And we're still waiting.
Rodewald should be coming in shot now. There he is. Really, really big lean angles. He's getting very aggressive out there. But I think that's been his style so far. And why should he change it if it's worked for him so far?
But his lap times are going out. He's never gone any quicker than a 41.5 second lap for quite some time, because that's what Pekka Häkkilä is doing. Häkkilä is pretty consistent at 41.5, 41.6. But Rodewald was doing 40.8 and 40.9s, and in fact he's just done a 40 flat there last time around. Now that's the sort of stuff he needs. Now down to 7 seconds between himself and Tight, but the issue is going to be when he gets into the wheel tracks of the Finn ahead of him again.
Yeah, that seems to be the issue at the moment. As I say, he profited a little bit from a
mistake. And he's got the leader coming round to lap him as well. Now this is a chance. Oh, Vaselli's rolled right in front. What a shame. That was Rodewald's chance there. Would have been good to see Vaselli coming up to the 5 and trying then to use the leader coming by to try and get past Häkkilä. So there is Vaselli. Vaselli has last lapped everyone. Oh, where's Van der Elst gone? Van der Elst has gone.
No, he's still there. He's just coming down towards the Grafil gradient, I think.
Well, Vaselli has not been scored for a lap. Vaselli has dropped out the lead. It's Teat and Rodewald now scored first and second, and less than 10 seconds between them. And then Vaselli had a 1:07. Yeah, he had a long lap. There he is. So when we saw him there, I thought coming round the lap, our third place man, in fact, he'd already lost a whole massive amount of time. Wow.
This weekend has never ceased to amaze, has it?
And who's stuck on the infield? It's the zero. It's the zero. Voreveld's out. Rodeveld's out, coming back down to the Samba hairpin. And again, it's left rear suspension. You can see it clearly there. What a disaster for Rodewald. The MCD RR5 with the UTZ motor, second place at that point, and this is going to put Vaselli back into second, but he's over 10 seconds, 11 seconds away from the leader. 4 minutes to go. We've got a grandstand finish with Van der Elst back up into third position. Heikel now in fourth position, albeit 7 seconds away from a podium.
You can understand why he was reluctant to slow down when he was being lapped by Rodewald, can't you? Because he had his own position there and he had his own pace. But this is fascinating now. Teat has not been out in front at all during this race. He now has to profit from that, but he's also been doing a lot of solid laps. But I can just see Van der Elst is not... No, actually, sorry, they were quite close together, but on different parts of the track. There's Teat coming through there. Vaselli, we've known, has rocket ship speed. There's Vaselli now coming over the Effra bridge, and there is still a substantial amount of time between them. I think that major error, I think he's left himself with too much to do.
Well, another 40.6, but the leader's doing 40.6 as well. And it is 11 seconds all of a sudden. Oh dear. Vaselli, another hot favourite here, certainly in our minds, former European champion, and he's rolled it again. If anything, too much grip there, didn't get the slide, almost grip roll if we were on carpet, you'd call that. Pekka Ivinen getting involved there as well. Oh, this is fabulous news for Jorg Michael Tait, the number 3 qualifier from the FG Motorsport Club, the only man running the FG Carbon in the final, and he's on the FG tyres, and there's only 3 of them running that, and at the moment they are first, third, and where's Ken Valkiers? Is he 40's way up? No, he's still down in 10th. So first and third for FG tyres against the might of MCD in this all-wheel drive final. It's the Effra large-scale off-road live from Austria. Samba, the Agostini Model Space and Grafil. Time about to run out. Adam makes his way down to get the interview of the winner.
Race order 32159, 32159 for bus 6, 7, 8, 10 and 4.
So the leader, Jorg Michael Tait, then let's make sure we see him in the last couple of laps. 90 seconds on the clock. The number 2 car just going down through the Grafil gradient on the infield whoops now, our leader, and now over the bridge. Here he comes, round the far side of the circuit, the bright red machine, down into the hairpin, Samba hairpin. Unexpected victory, I think, here. Fantastic run for the FG Carbon driver. He's taken his opportunity. You can't say anything other than that. It'll be one more lap. Oh, maybe not actually. This is probably his last lap. He can ease his pace a little bit. I don't think he'll want to go through and start another one. 44 laps will be completed. He just eases his pace a little bit. I don't think he'll have to do another one. Coming down to the last 10 seconds before the buzzer. This could be perfect timing for Jorg Michael Teit on the FG Carbon, on the FG tyres. And from the Model Sport Club, the FG Model Sport Club, he's through. And he's our new European champion. Jorg Michael Teit, Dario Vaselli coming through in second place, and Van der Elst in third. We'll confirm that for you in a moment. Van der Elst has finished, waiting for the second place of Vaselli to come through, and he's through. The results then. Jorg Michael Teit from Dario Vaselli. Tim Van der Elst takes another podium. Pekka Heikkilä in fourth position, excuse me, from Johnny Hiltunen, Philip Chasey and Felix Horens. Pekko Ivanen in 8th, Ken Valkes in 9th. Sven Rodeval looking so good. What a shame after a great first 2/3 of the race. And let's see if we can get to our new champion. There he is. Adam is up there.
I can tell you he's in a very emotional champion.
Turn him around and bring him to the window.
He's just celebrating with some of his team right now. I don't blame him. He was punching his fist in the air.
Bring the trophy. We want to see the trophy at that window. Come on.
We want to see him hold the gold as well. Come on, Jorg. Grab your trophy, mate. We want to show it on the camera. Shine it up real nice. There it is. There's the camera over there. Jorg, try and put these feelings into words right now. You're four-wheel drive European champion. How does this feel?
I don't know yet. Amazing. I mean, just didn't comprehend it. I mean, I would just like to thank you. Just huge thanks to Team FG, my dad, my team manager, Otse, all the British team. I mean, everybody who have helped me throughout the years and given me great support. My family, everybody, friends. So happy.
I can see how much this victory means to you. I mean, there was a lot of different leaders in that race, and it looked like it might have been Dario Vaselli's race to lose there. How did it feel when suddenly he made the mistake and you went through to the lead?
Well, my dad said, all right, he has some kind of problems, but I think something happened in the rear suspension around 11th, 12th minute, and the car was riding rear down all the time, so my car was really hard to drive whole race. But then I saw that I overtook Dario, and he was pushing too much and made some mistakes, so later on I was just driving safe and tried not to give it away.
Because it was so easy to make a mistake and maybe throw this one away, as we'd seen. But, I mean, you had some tough races earlier on in the qualifiers, in the lower finals. There was one race you dropped right to the back, but had to come back through to second in quick doors. Whereabouts in this race did you really believe you could win this thing?
When I heard that the time was over, because, I mean, I saw how the rear end was not working on the car. It was just sliding around, and then I wasn't sure about it until I crossed the line. So